Hello, welcome back. And I kind of know that you don't know this because I've been posting pretty consistently over the past few months, but I've actually haven't been recording for the past 2-3 months, which is kind of crazy. But recording makes me very happy, and usually I'm very excited to do it. But I just haven't been prioritizing it. And with it, I haven't been prioritizing any of my other habits either. Or just hobbies that I like to do, or like small things that make my life a little bit happier. And then I realized that right now most of my hobbies are also digitalized. So this recording, yeah, I'm doing it in real life, but most of it lies in the phone and online. And then all of my other hobbies are also a little bit digitalized. Like I don't really have actual real hobbies on paper or in physical life anymore, except for like dance, which I have not been doing for the past 3 months. And then I realized that having no hobbies is not about hobbies alone. It's kind of a sign that your internal systems are kind of collapsing. So the system of like internal reward, or your attention system, or emotional regulation system, maybe even your social system, or your energy system, or your learning and curiosity system. I feel like phones didn't remove hobbies, they removed these systems that we used to have in ourselves, and now we are kind of dependent on them externally. And because of that, now basically we have this external device that gives us entertainment, social approval, distractions, routine, validation, music, information, news, rewards. And so a phone can literally become your personality and your brain if you let it, especially in the way that your brain functions. So you don't really need the functions of your brain anymore, most of them, right? So you don't really need the basic functions of your brain that get you to do stuff anymore, right? Because now we have streaks, we have apps that kind of keep us just stuck in some like learning loop, or like not even learning loop, it can be a stupid learning loop. Like you don't need to learn anything to be in a learning loop. So yeah, phones can substitute all of that, and we are kind of trying to make that happen. Especially with AI, I feel like a lot of things are taken away from us in terms of like the reward of figuring things out, because we're not figuring things out anymore. Or just like habits that we used to have, like having to see a chatbot most of our day, which is the case for me right now, is extremely dull and extremely visually hard and bad. And also that chatbot can give me everything that I want, and at the same time it's also very boring because I don't really get anything out of it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But I feel like overall this has taken away our hobbies. And I don't think they disappear in one moment. Like hobbies don't disappear in one moment. I think it's like a pattern. So maybe at the first stage you feel like tired after a class or tired after work at night, and like you just pick up your phone because you feel like you need this kind of mechanism of getting you feeling more relaxed or like chill, or just like not to use your brain. So then you get to scroll for 10 minutes. But maybe if you didn't have your phone, you would have had other things to do. Even like watch a movie, or draw something, cook something, do a little bit of stretching, run, work out. So by scrolling for those 10 minutes, your attention will shrink. And especially if you do it as a habit, it will be very hard for you to keep interested in normal things that are outside of your phone, which I think we all have been dealing with. Even if you don't use your phone that much, it still impacts you in this way because you still use it. Like even if you don't use it for hours and hours, like a lot of people do, you still use it for like a few minutes or like a few hours, and that is still a lot for your attention span. And so then books feel a little bit too long, drawing feels like too much effort, dancing feels like too much effort, learning something new feels almost impossible without having GBT next to you, or like without a screen. So you kind of stop starting things outside of your screen. You think like, I will start when I have time, or when I have energy, when I am less tired. But that energy never returns because you are in a loop of using it on super short changes in a screen. Because we do lose a lot of energy trying to do that, trying to cope with always changing and switching from one video to the next. It's called switching costs, but also has a lot of other names to it. Basically, when you switch from one video to the next, you consume a little bit of energy, and if you do it so fast that in like 5 seconds you watch 5 videos, it's kind of crazy. So if you follow this pattern, your life will become input, short input, and so you won't have any creation, no exploration left, no intentional activity that you want to do just by yourself, for yourself, without any screen. And then you wake up one day and you're like, okay, I have no idea what I like anymore. I don't know how to get back on track to the things that I used to like, and the things that I used to like are not interesting for me anymore. And yeah, this is because your brain has not practiced these internal systems anymore, and they're still there, but it's just underused. And I think you also don't really have desire anymore, because when things are handed to you so much, you don't really develop this desire of learning new things, trying new things, or just trying the things that you used to like, because they're just gonna make up an algorithm for you to always get what you like. So where is that desire able to come from? Like, the thing is, scrolling or just like small information coming to you in like fast ways, it gives you very fast dopamine spikes, but you also get very low very fast. So then you want to switch to another video and get basically high again. So this becomes a loop of you getting stimulated, crashing, and wanting to get stimulated again. And normal hobbies, like hobbies that you used to do in your daily life before, or when you were younger, or even if you're a little bit older, before the phones even existed, the hobbies cannot compete with this cycle, because they are usually a little bit slower in progress. You get delayed pleasure for what you manage to create or what you want to manage to do, not necessarily every 5 seconds. And your mind gets way more stimulated because you're trying to do something without the support of something else necessarily. So then the slow and the hobbies that you used to love become very boring to you, and maybe not entertaining enough, maybe not interesting enough, which is a very sad truth that we've kind of been thrown into. And one thing that the phone does not do is not getting you rested. Like, I know we kind of feel like it is, but it's actually doing kind of the opposite. It's processing thousands of micro experiences at once, like faces, captions, trends, music, jokes, conflict, advice, ads, opinions, information, just learning, whatever. So in actually practice, your brain works more by watching TikTok than by reading a book. And this is why you're probably very tired every single day, and way more tired than you're used to being, or you just feel drained because you're just using a lot of your energy on a task that feels easy but is not for the brain. You are probably mentally exhausted because when you want to be relaxed, you get into this loop of using a lot of your remaining energy. And another thing that your hobby cannot replace your phone for is usually when you're scrolling or when you're using your phone, is you're escaping a feeling. You're escaping boredom, you're escaping anxiety, you're escaping loneliness, you're just escaping something, tiredness. And usually when you're trying to start a hobby or do something that you like, it's not as easy, it's more frustrating, it's more boring sometimes. You can be bad at it in the beginning. Even if you're a professional, you can still be bad at a hobby. You can still be bad at whatever you're doing. In your perspective, you don't get this constant feedback from an app or a system that makes you get that feedback all the time. So you don't really even get that reward of not feeling the feeling that you want to avoid, because the first few minutes, tens of minutes of starting that hobby will feel the same as if you were not starting that hobby and just like staring down, because you didn't get into the flow state anymore, or like it's just hard to start. Whereas scrolling or opening your phone is insanely easy to start. So some advice on what to do to regain your hobbies that I've been trying to practice in my daily life, but it's extremely hard, and I'm not judging you if you're not doing it after you finished watching this video. I'm not even judging you if you're not finishing watching this video, because I feel like our attention span is so low that this might be too long for our attention span. I was testing with removing my phone internet, so not buying data or just turning my phone on airplane mode all the time, but I feel like not having data or Wi-Fi is probably the best thing you can do for your phone. There's been studies showing that this is getting you to regain your attention and your mindfulness, and it will make you feel way better. But of course it's very hard to do because you've been programmed to want to use your phone every single second of your life. Start with micro hobbies, like hobbies that are very short or small, like reading 3 pages of a book, or doodling something on a small piece of paper every single day, writing 1 sentence in your journal. You can also pick hobbies that match your overstimulated brain. So photography is good because you get a reward every single time you take a picture. Low stakes creative projects like a little bit of a journal, you learn how to draw, maybe very simple, watching a tutorial, just walking, or maybe not running but like walking fast, or like running and then stopping and then running and then stopping, because you see new things every time you go outside. Try to be consistent with it, because not having hobbies is like not having an identity and only doing work or only doing kind of one thing without being kind of consistent with it. I'm speaking from experience. It's very sad. I think I'm grieving my personality from before. I mean, I still have a personality, it's just like muddled somewhere with like headaches and like tiredness and like fogginess. I just don't know. So yeah, you can be more interesting, more fun. You can have a more fun life than what you have right now, and you can start creating a not experienced life so passively and more actively if you actually want to. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, I'm sure you're gonna like this one too. Love you guys, have the best of your life. Kisses. Bye bye.